Well, welcome to the True Man Podcast. This is an invitation, a radical reconstruction of a man's masculine heart and soul, and a place of safe community where we dare to ask questions deep seated in inside a man and explore ways to help you become a better man, a better son, a better dad, and a better spouse. Well, thank you for being on the True Man Podcast, for listening to the True Man Podcast, perhaps I should say. Today I want to talk with you about something. Yeah, it's just kind of touched me lately, something I've been thinking about, conversations that I've had with people, and that is this whole idea about thinking small. I've come to this realization that, and I've been a victim of this in my life from time to time, that too many people think too small. And one of the biggest obstacles I see that's holding people back from achieving their goals is this unwillingness, in some cases, to think bigger. Now, you may say, well, they just think too small. They're comfortable with that. And, this is something I've experienced from time to time. In fact, I believe that fear of failure, quite honestly, has held me back for long periods of time in my life. And I think that happens to a lot of people. Now, more on that in a minute. But unfortunately, I think many people find comfort in small thinking, even if it leaves them doubting themselves and questioning their choices. Now, I think nearly every man from time to time who's ever sat in a quiet moment of reflection knows the feeling, this gnawing frustration that comes with the realization perhaps you're not living up to your potential. Now, you might have a stable job, a decent income, a few hobbies, but deep down, there's more to life than just ticking off boxes on a checklist. The frustration isn't about tangible achievements, it's about the intangible barriers we impose on ourselves, the small thinking that holds us back from reaching our true potential. Now, men I found often wrestle with this idea and issue of small thinking. It's an insidious little problem that seeps into our lives, limiting our ambitions and clouding our vision of what could be. But why do we fall into this trap? And more importantly, how can we break free from it? Well, small thinking often starts in our formative years when we're young, when we're children. Society, family, and even ourselves sometimes unknowingly puts limits on our life. I don't think people intend it to be this way. It just sometimes happens. And so from an early age, we're encouraged to play it safe, follow the predictable path, right? Avoid risk. We're told to be realistic, which often translates to aiming for mediocrity rather than greatness. The messages are subtle sometimes, but powerful. Stuff like money doesn't grow on trees or know your place. Don't get your hopes up, right? They're self limiting in many, many ways. And as we grow older, these ideas become deeply ingrained in us. They shape our beliefs. It's and about what we're capable of, and they limit our vision. Now, when faced with these challenges or opportunities, small thinking whispers in our ear that we shouldn't aim too high, right? That little guy sitting on your shoulder that says, that's risky. It convinces us that stepping outside of our comfort zones is too risky or that we don't have what it takes to succeed in a grander scale. And this kind of thinking doesn't just hold us back. It really it really diminishes our potential and it leads to negative thinking. Now, to overcome small thinking, we first need to recognize it in our lives. Now, here's some common patterns that I've observed in conversations with other men. Fear of failure. You heard me mention this earlier. This is something that I went through. Um, a lot of men settle for less because they're afraid of failing. This fear can paralyze you, leading to inaction or settling for safer, less ambitious goals. The fear of falling short becomes then a self fulfilling prophecy. Now, how about your comfort zone? It's easy to get stuck in what we know. In fact, it tends to be where we go because it's easy, it's a default. And when we do that, we avoid new experiences that could challenge us. Comfort zones are pretty cozy, but they're also prison cells for our potential. So staying within them might feel safe, but it is a huge barrier to growth in your life. Now, what is your vision for your life? What do you want? Small thinking manifests as a lack of long term vision. And when we don't have a clear picture of where we want to go, we are more likely to drift aimlessly, missing out on opportunities for greatness in our life. Now, I'm going to say this very boldly right now. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop it. It's easy to look at our peers and measure ourselves against their success. This comparison can lead to feelings of inadequacy and reinforce this belief that we should aim lower. If you're taking your cues from the pictures of what everybody's posting with their perfect little life online, you're really doing yourself a tremendous disservice. Take, now listen to this carefully because we just don't do a good job of this in our culture anymore. Take responsibility for yourself and your success. Stop making excuses and blaming others. It doesn't do anybody any good. Small thinking often comes with a ready supply of excuses. I remember a teacher that I had in high school that was used to say, "I got a whole drawer full of excuses." Now, instead of taking responsibility for our choices, we blame external factors or our upbringing or the economy or other people's actions. Knock it off. It does you no good. Take responsibility for yourself. And how do we overcome this cycle of small thinking? This is important because if you've had those thoughts that I just talked about, you got to break the cycle. And I believe it's in your control because it really is a choice that you make to overcome the negative and turn everything into a positive. So here's a roadmap to help you transition from self limiting beliefs and small thinking to a life of purpose and authenticity. Define your vision. Start with that. Start by creating a clear, compelling vision of what you want to achieve in your life. This vision should be bold and it should be inspiring. Ask yourself what you truly want from life, not what you think you can get, but something that you genuinely desire. It's on your heart. This vision should stretch your imagination and challenge your current beliefs about what's possible. Set big, hairy, audacious goals. All of these things are things that I talk about in my upcoming book, by the way, True Man, True Ways, a roadmap of discovery to the masculine heart. This book's going to be out this fall, and you can pre-order it. I'll have that in the show notes. But all of these things are things that I talk about in the book. Set big, hairy, audacious goals. Once you have a vision, break it down into actionable goals. And these goals should be challenging and attainable. They should push you out of your comfort zone and require you to grow. Setting bold goals gives you something concrete to work towards and helps you maintain focus and motivation. Also, embrace failure as a learning tool and roll up your sleeves and get to work, for gosh sakes. Challenge your mind and set about for failure. That means you're in action. Trust me, if you're in action, you're going to fail. But instead of seeing it as a negative outcome, view it as a stepping stone to success. Every failure is a lesson, a chance to learn and improve. Embracing this perspective is going to help you take risk and pursue your goals with greater confidence. Here's a great one. Develop a growth mindset. It's really everything that we're talking about here. Adopt a growth mindset, a belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. There's no other way around it. This mindset fosters resilience, a love of learning, and a greater willingness to embrace challenges. Be curious. Be curious. Develop a growth mindset. Also, and I just can't say enough about this, surround yourself with givers. and positive influences. You will become who you surround yourself with. The people you spend time with can significantly impact your thinking. Surround yourself with individuals who inspire and challenge you. Seek out mentors who have achieved greatness and learn from their experiences. Positive influences can help shift your perspective and encourages you to aim higher. Take responsibility for your life. You heard me say this earlier. Stop making excuses and blaming external factors for your situation. Take ownership of your choices and actions. Recognize that you have the power to shape your destiny and that your decisions are the key to your success. Nobody else can take action for you. You're going to have to do it yourself, and you have the power to do that. Along with that, practice gratitude and humility. While striving for greatness, it's essential to remain grounded. Practice gratitude every day. Write down three things. This is what I do. Write down three things in the morning you're grateful for. I am grateful for blue skies. I am grateful for seeing the sun. I am grateful for seeing my wife. I'm grateful for spending time with my children. It's really that simple, but it gets you in the practice of doing it. And it creates an attitude of gratitude. And humility keeps you connected to your core values and reminds you of the importance of staying true to yourself. Now, for many men, building a life of greatness and thinking big versus small is intertwined with spiritual fulfillment. A God filled life adds a layer of meaning and purpose that goes beyond material success. In fact, I believe it's everything. You have to decide that for yourself. But I certainly want to encourage you to seek divine guidance from God. Engage in prayer, meditation, or other spiritual practices to seek guidance and clarity, discernment and wisdom. Trust that a higher power has a plan for you and that your ambitions can align with divine purpose. And of course, live according to your values. Set your values, determine your values, and let your faith guide your decisions and actions. Align your goals and your values and your principles. This alignment is going to bring a sense of authenticity and it will ensure the pursuit of greatness does not comprise your integrity. Serve others. Be a giver rather than a taker. You know, true greatness often involves serving others and making a positive impact in the world. And you know, when you give, you get what you gave back at you. Use your talents and achievements to help those in need and contribute to the greater good of man. Service enriches your life and fulfills a higher calling. And of course, I say this often on this podcast, find strength in community. Engage with a faith community that supports and encourages your growth. Get around other men or get around other groups that have faith in at the center, at the core of what they're doing. A supportive community can provide accountability, encouragement, and a sense of belonging. Reflect on your purpose. What is your purpose? Do you have a purpose? If not, I encourage you to seek it out. Regularly reflect on your life's purpose and how it aligns with your faith. Seek to understand how your ambition and achievements contribute to a greater plan and how they reflect on your spiritual beliefs. You know, the struggle with small thinking is a common battle for many men. It's easy to get trapped in that cycle of limited ambitions and self doubt, but breaking free from these constraints is crucial for achieving greatness and living a truly authentic life. And by defining a bold vision, setting challenging goals and embracing failure, and surrounding yourself with positive influences, you can overcome small thinking and unlock your full potential. Integrating your faith into this journey adds profound dimension to your pursuit of greatness. Believe me on that. It provides a guidance, a purpose, and a sense of fulfillment that transcends material success. Living a God filled life means aligning your ambitions with your spiritual values, serving others, and finding strength in your community. Ultimately, greatness is not just about achieving extraordinary things. It's about living a life that is true to who you are and what you believe in. By overcoming small thinking and embracing a vision of greatness that aligns with your faith, you set yourself on a path to a life of purpose, fulfillment, and authenticity. And I would include in that a life of freedom, a life of more. It'll help put a smile on your face. If small thinking is something that you've struggled with, I hope I've provided you with some encouragement today. Now, if you're interested in hearing more about how you can be a part of a giving community that will help you put an end to small thinking, please reach out to me at mike@truemanlifecoaching.com. Get on my calendar. I'd love to speak with you and hear about what's going on in your life. Nobody should live a life of small thinking. Why could you when you could live big? Well, I hope you enjoyed today's True Man podcast and spending I appreciate you spending time with me. It was great to talk about this idea of small thinking and how you can turn it into a big thinking mindset. So if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a great review on your favorite podcast channel. And until next week, go out and make this your very best day ever. Think big, people. We'll talk to you soon.